Done by Noon podcast, episode number 13. Today we're going to talk about how Chris Lopez, our co-host, generated $48,000 in only 4 days during the pandemic.
You're listening to the Done by Noon podcast, a podcast for entrepreneurs who want to achieve more by noon than others in a full day. Serial entrepreneur Dave Ruel and his co-host Chris Lopez share the strategies that will help you optimize your productivity, performance, and lifestyle so you can reach new heights in your business and life. So if you're ready to become the most efficient and effective entrepreneur you know, you're in the right place. Welcome to the show.
This episode is brought to you by the Effic Planner, the first planner made for the entrepreneurial brain. It's easy to fill your day with busy work. You feel like you're getting a lot done. But if you don't make time for bigger projects, you're just spinning your wheels and hurting your business. The Effic Planner is backed by a complete system to strategically plan your next 90 days. Break down projects into actionable bite-sized pieces. Optimize your work week and implement sustainable performance habits in the process. To learn more about the Effic Planner, go to www.effic.co. That's EFFIC.co. And use coupon code PODCAST at checkout to receive 10% off your order. Now, back to Dave and Chris.
Chris, crazy rich Asian.
I can't take any credit for it. I mean, it was really my partner. Like I did a lot of the content and stuff like that, but I mean, it was a good time. Really happy.
You know, on the podcast we talk about the three freedoms, right? We talk about creative freedom, we talk about the freedom of time, but financial freedom is one of them. And when we talked we talked privately about your launch, I was like, you know what, we need to talk about this on the podcast because it's not time management or productivity, but this is what you've been doing for the past, like how many years, Chris, again?
I officially started online in 2010.
Yeah. So, it's been 11. I thought it was more than that. It was longer than that.
Well, I started writing a blog in 2008 and I was making affiliate sales then, but I didn't come out with my own actual product until 2000.
That's what I'm saying. But you've been online since like before me because I started in 09. My first blog was in 09.
Yeah.
So you were a little bit before me. But see, like you've been doing that for a long time, but this is how you make money. You know what I mean? You do coaching, you do different things online, but the web is your platform. And something really cool happened over the pandemic when you sold home workouts with Rusty Moore.
Yep.
So Rusty, that's an OG as well. Rusty has been in the game for a long time. VisualImpactFitness.com.
Well, he started with Fitness Black Book, which was primarily an affiliate site. He just had people. He was writing really, really good content, and he would link the content to different affiliate offers, so different products that you'd find online, and then if people would go to that particular product, I mean, if those of you that aren't familiar with affiliate sales, you have a special link, and if you click on that product and you end up buying the product that he recommended, he gets a sale off of it. Mm-hmm. So that was Rusty's first business.
So Rusty's been online for a long time, but he has I don't think he has a huge email list, but he has a crazy great relationship with these people.
Amazing. So Rusty's email list is, I mean, I say only, but I mean, it's significant for a lot of people still, but I think it's under 15,000.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 15,000 in fitness marketing space, it's like very small.
Crazy small. But the thing with his email list is that he has upwards of like a 40% open rate.
That's insane.
Which is unheard of. So to put that in context, in the fitness industry, an average email open rate for any list is around anywhere between 2 and 5%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's insane. So how did that go? Like about like doing that? Like, did you just talk to Rusty and was like, hey, let's do this? Or how did that happen?
So Rusty and I have similar list sizes, and we have similar relationships with our lists. And so I've been following Rusty's work for a long time, and I love what he does. Like he has a website that caters to a very specific niche, and his whole thing is about, I mean, it's in the fitness industry, but it's about creating like he calls it a yacht bod, which is what I love about it too. Like, so when you think about a yacht bod, like I think about, you know, a good looking European couple on a yacht in Santorini or the French Riviera, and they're just lying down tanning. And it's like, that's kind of what a yacht bod is. So he created his own little market for that. And I knew that he and I had similar relationships with our lists and everything. And we had similar views on all of that. And so I had asked Rusty, hey, you know, it's with the pandemic and everything, people are really starting to pay attention to training at home because they don't want to go to the gym anymore. And I've been doing this kettlebell stuff for 10 years now. Do you ever think about doing a collaboration? Like, would you be interested in doing something like that? Like, I would film the content and take care of all of that. And then I told him, I said, I really love the way you write. I think you write with a very tongue in cheek and very humorous, but you provide really good content. Maybe you could write the content for the course and everything. And he was like, within a day, he had to check with his business partner on his business. But like literally after 12 hours, he got back to me. He was like, we're all in. Let's do it.
That's awesome, man. So it was a video course?
It's part text, part video. So, and it's on his site, and yeah. And he, like, the way he writes is so, it's really great. Like, yeah, for anybody, like if you want to learn how to write, with humor and tell stories, but still really give good information, you should get on Rusty's email list, because he's a very smart marketer, really great copywriter, super nice guy too.
Oh, he's hilarious. Yeah, like we've been friends for we're not like super. I would say like we don't know each other super well in real life, but we know of each other, and we're friends. Obviously, we've been friends for quite a while, but you know, we don't talk. What I would say is like we don't talk regularly or anything like that. But I have him as a friend on Facebook, so I see his posts, and he's hilarious too. Yeah. Every day he shares the funniest things.
I know. Yeah. He's hilarious. You know what? There's only a handful of people that I follow on Facebook. A lot of them are you know, guys that you and I know and that we came up in the industry with, and Rusty is another one of them who I follow. So I always get your posts, and I always get on my feed. I always get your posts and Rusty's posts, and you know, a bunch of the other guys that we know.
That's but so you did that. So you created the post. So Rusty wrote the email. Like, how many emails? You said like what, 4 or 5 emails to his list over 4 days?
So the promo lasted, the promo was 4 days, and Rusty wrote the content, and we only promoted to his list. We haven't even touched my list yet. I'm just starting to prep for my list right now.
Oh, you didn't even mail to your list?
I haven't mailed to my list yet.
That's crazy.
This is only to his list.
So you have another like 20, 30K just like waiting for you to grab on the floor right now.
Well, I mean, maybe not. This is a beginner course, and
oh yeah, because now your crowd is a little bit
right, and my guys are a little bit more seasoned. True. So it depends on the positioning of how I like. It'll depend on my positioning, on how I position it and everything. But I'm sure that we could still make 5 figures on it easily if I position it correctly. I have a good idea on how to position it. But Rusty's like. So anyway, the course it's a kettlebell training course for at home training, and we're in a pandemic right now, and gyms are closed, and everybody is paranoid about going to the gym and contracting the virus. So when I approached Rusty and I said, "Hey, how about we do a kettlebell course, and we'll make it beginner-ish, and I'll really teach the technique and everything." Part of the allure of the course too was that I filmed everything on the beach. So, and I hired a videographer. Like, I hired this really good videographer here. Well, he's good. He's like, my videographer is 16 years old, but he has a passion for videography, and he wants to, you know, have a successful YouTube channel. So I gave him an opportunity to do this for me. And so he filmed it. So the videos and the photos that Rusty uses throughout the course, and the imagery and the way he writes, and then, and all of the explanation and all of that, like it's very visually appealing, and that is his audience. So
that's awesome. So yeah, you told me that Rusty now gets most of his traffic. So his eyeballs on his business come from Pinterest, right?
Yep. Yeah. So if any of you guys are interested in how to leverage Pinterest for your own business, Rusty would be the guy to talk to.
That's so great, because that's another thing. Like, I feel like there's so much bullshit sold like online when it comes to actually selling stuff or an approach, but that shows you that it doesn't need to be complicated. Like
No, not
Rusty
at
has been
all.
at it for a while. He adjusted all the time, like, his traffic sources, but like he found that I think most of his clients were mostly females going
right.
on Pinterest, watching, like types of workout images and, I would say workout tips and everything. So he gets most of his traffic there, gets them on his website, gets them into his universe on his email list, and then obviously he builds a great relationship with them. So and
Yeah, well,
when sorry, go ahead.
well, I mean, if you go to his site, it's very visually appealing too. So all of the images on his site are, they're paid for. They're beautiful images of like beautiful people doing different types of like workouts, or like his imagery is really good. Like he basically with his images tells a story of having a certain lifestyle that appeals to his audience. So he knows his audience really well, and so and then he writes according to that audience as well. So it's really interesting that way. He's really good at what he does.
No, exactly, and that's the thing. And it's not douchey too. Like he's not the type of guy who's going to send like do douchey advertising for his things. Like he just gives good information, builds a great relationship, like, and that's valuable for any business. Like build a great relationship with your audience, because when you look at email marketing, especially in fitness marketing, 15,000 people on the mailing list is not that much. So it's a game of volume, but he shows that actually you can create a great relationship. And when you have like great products like that are no-brainer offers to purchase, boom, done. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And but that doesn't happen overnight. Like he's been at it for a while, like a long time, and he's built that relationship, and he understands, where is his audience coming from, what they want, and how to talk to them, right? So my point is that when it comes to building an online business, it's a good example of longevity and how a relationship that you build with your audience and with other people too is really, I think, key to make it happen. There's no tactic that will like give you $48,000 in 4 days. No, but seriously, it's the sum of everything that you guys have been doing for years, that you understand how it works, and that now you're able to provide that and make that. But it's the compound effect of everything you've been doing, right?
Right.
So yeah, that's the myth of the online business. Like that's the reality of it, right? And you're probably listening to it because I want to make $48,000 in 4 days too. But the reality is that it's the compound effect of everything that you're doing. It's a
Yep.
compound effect of all the habits, the routines, the momentum you're going to get in your business over time that will allow you to make this happen. There's no magic bullet. There's like, that's the thing with this podcast or whatever I'm going to, what I want to tell you is that you're never going to be sold fucking tactics.
Right.
Because we have our methodology, but when it comes to on the online business, we've been at it for so long now that we know that there's no magic bullet. It's a game of consistency. It's a game of long term. And if you want sustainability, trust me, like you're going to have to start doing things like they should and stop expecting fast results right away. Like that, it just does not happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, one of the like you have to look at, it's not even about playing the long game, it's about playing the infinite game, right? Like that's a Simon Sinek quote. And when you're in business, like, are you in business to like get in and then get out, or like how do you know if you win or lose? Like there's no winners or losers when you're in business. It's about servicing your customers and knowing that you're going to be in it for the long haul. And if you take that approach, you're more likely to be successful than if you want to do some type of get rich quick scheme and just get in. Like it's really difficult to do that.
But it's anything in life, in my opinion, whether it's your marriage, your productivity, or like sales. It's always a game of small things done well, over a long time and consistently. And I think, that's a great lesson here with that, that you've been in the game, you're still able to pull off great numbers because of, and it's a very basic, I mean, what, like the basic promo with a digital product, I mean, you're going to talk to a lot of basic experts, like experts online, because oh, this model is done. You cannot do that anymore. It doesn't work. Now it's just like coaching and blah, blah, blah. It's like, no,
Yeah.
everything works. It just doesn't work if you approach it from a tactical standpoint.
Right. Yeah.
If you approach it as, hey, I have something to offer to my list or to my audience and they love it and I've built that relationship. And I mean, so hold on, let's talk about numbers, because you told me the numbers before we jump online. So
Okay.
Conversion rate is the number of people who end up on the website and buy the product. So the industry standard is anywhere between 1% and 3%.
Right.
Okay. What was your conversion rate?
35%.
I mean, if that's not an indicator of a great freaking relationship of Rusty building great relationship with his audience, these are insane numbers.
Yeah, it was
crazy.
It was quite surprising. Yeah, so we made just under 2,000 sales, like just about 2,000 sales. And
so that's still crazy with the 15,000, because here's the thing: 15,000 people on an email list. The open rate on an email is like, usually it's super low, right?
It's between in the fitness industry, it's between 2% and 5%. That's the average.
So that's what you said earlier. And you said what, 40%?
His is around, like, it hovers around he always gets between 30 and 40% open rate.
That's crazy. And then we have what we call the click-through rate, which is actually the people that are actually going to open the email but click on the actual link in the email. Right. And that's a number. But you can see, if you made 2,000 sales, that means the click-through rate was also really, really good.
Yeah, he didn't. I only have. Hold on one second. Let me see if I have his email. And I can give you the exact stat. I don't know if he gave me the click-through rate though.
But that's fine. I mean, bottom line, the number is impressive.
Yeah, no, it's great, and it just goes to show you the importance. But the importance of having a good relationship with your list and a good relationship with your people. But the thing with what Rusty does, and what I try to do as well. I mean, Rusty and I really have the same. I don't know if you want to call him a coach or mentor or business mentor or whatever, but we follow the same school.
A mentor.
You ever see that Friends episode?
No, it's like Tai Lopez. A mentor. Oh gosh, that gets on my nerves.
Okay. But yeah, like it's exactly like what you said. This did not happen overnight. This was a series. This is because of the relationship that he has built with his list and that I have built with my list. And people actually care about what we say. We treat people like people, and we offer value. You always say, you offer value first. You do this. You got to lead with content or lead with value. And but it's very rare that I'll sell something to my list. I always teach them, and I try to educate them, and I basically sell the way I would want to be sold too.
100%. I mean, it's a long-term game. Think about it. Like, you want to building a relationship with someone, and next thing you know, like you're 2 seconds into the interactions and you start selling something. Like, I don't want to deal with this guy. I don't want to deal with that person.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done. That's insane. See, that's the thing. Like, you hear so many like hypey stuff, and I talk about Tai Lopez, but I mean, anyone ever ask you if you're related to Tai Lopez?
No, you know what? Nobody's ever asked me. I get a lot of people asking me if I'm related to Jennifer Lopez, but never Tai Lopez. Yeah.
No, I would have known if you were. Oh my gosh. I think a bunch of us would have invited us to your family functions.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But but see, that's the thing. Like, you're sold like stuff like that by these type of guys online, and I don't know, man. I've been doing that for so long now. I'm like, you know what? Like, it's more than just than an online course that's going to make you successful, right? You got to be treated like, especially like if you're listening to this and like you have an online business, or you had the idea of launching an online business. Like, trust me, it's like opening. It's not because it's online that it is a magic bullet, that it is like it's going to give you the lifestyle and freedom that you want. If people sell you that, like, if they have a product where they sell you immediate freedom, forget it. It's like, don't buy that. You know what I mean? It can, like, the online building an online business is a great leverage. Like, having an online business is a great leverage. However, the internet can be leveraged in many types of businesses, right? And I think this is what you have to understand, is that we're in an era now where your communications, your sales, a lot of things can be done, online, right? So I think the time where the online business was the only way to, give you freedom, I never really bought into it. I think now the key is that you need to leverage actually the internet to make a a better business for you, get more freedom, right? It's not having the business line, it's leveraging the internet, the online world.
Yep.
But dude, that's still inspiring that you're able to pull off these type of numbers, these partnerships, and see what I want you guys to leave with today is that, again, it's a game of long term. Like, that happened to you, Chris, because you had that relationship with Rusty that you've been nurturing for over a decade.
And it wasn't even it's all it wasn't even contrived. Like, it was just like, hey, Rusty, there might be an opportunity here. Would you think about doing that? Like, it wasn't like, oh, you know what? I'm going to build this relationship with this guy because I might be able to leverage this. Like, I hate it when people say that, where it's like, oh, like, how can I help you? Or, you open with that. No, it's just like Rusty and I had a lot in common, and we've been in the industry for a while, and I had promoted some of his products, and I'm I'm a member of his list or a subscribership, so I read his emails and I really enjoy it. And then there was one day where it was just like, hey, there's an opportunity here. Let me contact Rusty to see if he'd be interested in this. And so I did that. And that's all it was. It was never me like going, oh, how can I leverage this relationship with Rusty more? Like, it was never that. It was always like,
I think we should keep this topic for next week.
Sure.
Because that's the thing, building like relationships, like long-lasting relationship. I think we have a full episode. We have a full episode to talk about that, because it's 100% true.
Yeah.
Like everything, that's one of the pieces that, was in place, like your relationship with him. Then the fact that you have an expertise that you're a world-renowned expert, at with the kettlebells. It's the fact that you were able to nurture a relationship, and or Rusty for that instance, but for you as well, like nurture a relationship for a long time with people who now know, like, and trust you, want to buy from you. Mm-hmm. And I think that's that's the perfect example of why playing the long-term game, why sustainability really matters in business, right? And you have to put everything in place in order to have the sustainability. That if that's one thing I want you guys to understand or get out of with it, is that's the whole key, sustainability.
Yeah.
Love it, my friend. Congratulations once again. That's amazing. That's fantastic. I really wanted to bring that, because it's when we talked about that, offline of the air, I was like, you know what, we got to talk about this. Like, that's we have to talk about it on the podcast, man. I mean, like, tell me that on the air. I knew a little bit about it, but that's amazing.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure working with him. And I you know what, I liken what happened with me and Rusty in this collaboration to kind of like what happened with you and I on this podcast. Like, you and I have been friends for a long time, but we had never done business. Like, sure, I affiliated with you before, and like you sold some of my products and stuff like that. But you and I have never collaborated on anything before until it was actually until the time was right. But you and I never got into this friendship for this. Exactly. With the underlying reason was oh, how can I leverage my relationship with Dave and
Well, no, it was just a misunderstanding. I thought you were Jennifer Lopez's cousin, and then when I figured out like you were, and I was like, damn, shit.
No, you had me at the lobster, Dave. You had me at the lobster.
I sealed our friendship with lobster, like I do with many people. I sealed my friendship with John Goodman over lobster too. If John listens to it, he will understand.
Yeah. So,
all right, my man, that's fantastic. So can we talk to you next week about relationships and building that? I think it's going to be a great compliment to this episode. So guys, sustainability, leverage the online world. Even if you don't have an online business, it's always great to leverage that tool. But that shows you that, sustainability in whatever you're doing is key. Lopezo, I'll talk to you next week, my friend.
Yes,
Go
sir.
spend all these dollars. I think you bought a few MacBook Pros for you and your wife.
Yeah. You know what? The jungle is, well, my computer is like from 2015, maybe 2014, somewhere around there.
I got a 2014 MacBook Pro too.
Yeah. So
I keep mine forever.
But I live in the jungle. Like I live in I live in a tropical climate, and we don't have a what do they call it? A dry room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. It's super humid.
Yeah, so I need a backup. Like I need something backup quick, because I mean that's how I.
And probably like the giant crickets that you have over there probably like nibble on the corner of your hard drive at night, and you
That's
like
right.
That's disgusting. I hate bugs.
Oh, Dave.
No.
I'll get you back sometime.
No. It's well, unless like I go within like a giant net, like they have these suits, like the bee suits. I'm probably gonna go and but they're way too warm. The climate's way too warm for that. All right, my friend, have a great week. Much love. Congrats once again.
Thanks, brother.
Talk to you next week.
Okay, man.
See ya, everybody.
See ya.
You have just listened to the Done by Noon podcast. If you are interested in hearing more, do not hesitate to subscribe to our channel. Click on the 5 stars or check out our free tools and trainings at donebynoonpodcast.com. Thanks again for listening, and stay awesome. We'll see you next time.